Let's proceed with example number 2. So we have the given equation 64y squared minus 9x squared equals 576. And again, we need to find the following. We have to find the center, the vertices, the co-vertices, the foci, the asymptote, the conjugate axis, transverse axis, and the graph. Let's start. So we begin by dividing all these terms by 576, or that is actually multiplying both sides by 1 over 576. So simplify, this becomes 1. What we actually did is get the lowest term, so this are both divisible by 64. 64 divided by 64 is 1. We have 1y squared. We don't need to write 1. And then 576 divided by 64 is 9. On the other term, we have 9 divided by 9, of course, that's 1. So we'll have here x squared. 576 divided by 9 is 64. Now we have the equation y squared over 9 minus x squared over 64 equals 1. So again, equation number 2 becomes y squared over 9 minus x squared over 64 equals 1. And it takes the form y squared over a squared minus x squared over b squared equals 1. So it's different from example number 1, meaning to say this time the transverse axis is vertical. So why does it matter? That means to say that the vertices are not on the x-axis anymore. That will be on the y-axis. So later on, we'll have v sub 1 and v sub 2 moving in the y-axis. So this will become 0. And then we'll get the value of a. So look at the equation. We have y squared over 9 here. A squared is the denominator of y squared. So a squared equals 9. Then get the square root of both sides. A is equal to 3. Therefore, the vertices v sub 1 is negative 0, negative 3, and v sub 2 is 0, 3. Okay, the co-vertices is always the opposite of the vertices. Since it's on the y-axis, this time the co-vertices will be on the x-axis. So we write w sub 1 and w sub 2. 0 on the y coordinates. So let's solve for the value of b for us to have w sub 1 and w sub 2. On the equation, b squared is the denominator of x squared. And what is the denominator of x squared on the given? We have 64. So solve for b. B squared is equal to 64. Get the square root of both sides. We have b square root of 64 is 8. So we have here w sub 1 is at negative 80 and w sub 2 is at 80. We already have a and b, so let's solve for the value of c. C is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. A is 3, a squared is 9. So we have 9. B is 8, b squared is 64. We had 9 plus 64. Add. C is equal to the square root of 73. Again, the foci and the vertices are collinear. We've talked about the vertices a while ago. They are on the y-axis. So we have the foci f sub 1 and f sub 2 on the y-axis as well. This is 0, negative square root of 73. And the other one is 0, positive square root of 73. Okay, so this time we'll write the equations of the asymptotes. We have y equals a over bx and y equals negative a over bx. If you still remember, the transverse axis is vertical, meaning if we take into consideration the slope of the lines that will be created by these equations, a is the rise because the vertices are at the y-axis, while b is the run because the co-vertices are on the x-axis. So let's substitute. The value of a is the square root of 9, that is 3, over the value of b is the square root of 64, that is 8. So we have y equals 3 over 8x, and the other one is y equals negative 3 over 8x. Lastly, let's solve for the length of the transverse axis and also for the length of the conjugate axis. That is, for the transverse axis, we have 2a. So substitute 2 times a is 3. 2 times 3, we have 6. And then for the conjugate axis, we have 2b. That is 2 times b is 8. So 2 times 8 is 16. Okay? The transverse axis has a length of 6 units, and the conjugate axis has a length of 16 units. Let's look at a graph of the second hyperbola with the equation y squared over 9 minus x squared over 64 equals 1. So that will be it for this video. Let's see each other again on the next video for more examples about hyperbola. Thanks for watching.